Violence has come to be an intrinsic component of elections in Bengal. One can almost predict the headlines preceding and following the electoral process in the eastern state. Bombs, bahubalis, and blame game rule the roost. Murders are par for course, and then all is forgotten till it's time to cast votes yet again. And then it starts all over again. This was the vicious circle that the Trinamool Congress had challenged and promised to change. But with just a few hours to go for the panchayat polls in Bengal, things don't seem to have changed much. Even today, bombs have been recovered outside a BJP worker's house in Cooch Behar, just hours after 3 BJP workers were shot at. Not just that, in fact, pre-poll death toll today stands at 16. Bengal governor has put the blame on the state election commissioner for failing to discharge his duties, and that is maintain law and order. Despite all resources being at his disposal, his allocation got the support of other opposition parties in the state, who also accused the poll body of being in cahoots with Mamata Banerjee and her dispensation in creating fear psychosis in the state. The no confidence in the state's ability to curb violence and maintain law and order was also visible in the Calcutta High Court's order directing the SEC to keep central forces deployed in the state for 10 days, not just during but even after the results have been announced, keeping in mind the law and order situation, rather the lack of it. However, not taking kindly to the governor's comments, Trinamool Congress has responded with sarcasm and then accused the governor of acting like a BJP mouthpiece. Listen in.
I agree with them. I am doing it for publicity alone. To publicize the right of the common man, to publicize the sanctity of the constitution, to publicize that human might, which is supported by the common man's will, cannot be suppressed by any political propaganda.
Immediately send him to states like Madhya Pradesh. A man of such intellect, a man of such wisdom, a man of such sheer understanding of democratic values and constitution is needed more at this time in the double engine government of Manipur, not in Bengal.
The State Election Commission has no role to minimize the violence in the state of West Bengal. According to our observation, the State Election Commission is responsible for all the deaths.
You're watching the News Hour at 9, debate number 2 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Joining me on the debate with GBL Narasimha Rao is Rohan Mitra. Also joining me tonight is Biswajit Deb, national spokesperson and senior advocate of the Trinamool Congress. GBL Narasimha Rao, the Trinamool Congress has been saying that the BJP is responsible for the violence in Bengal, also the interference of the governor of Bengal. What would you say to those charges that have been leveled against your party?
I think, Navika, these are absurd. Whenever elections happen in Bengal under the rule of Trinamool Congress, like it happened under the Marxists before, there is widespread violence. In the last assembly, in the last panchayat polls also, almost 100 people died, and most of those victims were BJP cadres. Even after the last assembly poll, soon after victory, TMC goons wreaked havoc in the state, torched houses of many of the BJP cadres, even outraged modesty of women. They indulged in like a terror group. The TMC is actually, the T in the TMC stands for terror. They want to win elections by using violence and terror. And even last night, 4 of BJP's cadres have been shot, or bombs have been thrown at them. And 1 Congress worker has been killed in Murshidabad. Is this the new camaraderie between the Congress and the TMC, one trying to kill the other? I think they should tell the country.
Biswajit Deb, on the one hand, you have an alliance going on for Lok Sabha polls with the Congress. On the other, Congress cadres are at the receiving end, violence increasing, 16 deaths ahead of panchayat polls. We're not even talking about assembly elections or Lok Sabha elections. Panchayat polls, the kind of violence that has been observed, clearly, is it time for the Trinamool Congress to actually introspect, because law and order in this case is in the hands of the Bengal government?
Well, I was hearing so long. I would like to reply to the issues raised one by one. Just give me some time. You see, whatever allegations are being made against All India Trinamool Congress, we have said earlier also that these allegations are absolutely false. Out of the 16 people who have died in the pre-poll violence, more than 8 people belong to Trinamool Congress. They are Trinamool Congress workers and leaders, and they have been killed at the instance of BJP, Congress, CPIM and ISF. You should understand one thing, that in Bengal there is a combined opposition led by BJP, that is BJP, CPIM, ISF and Congress, and they have targeted Trinamool Congress. They are spreading violence in each and every district, and they are trying to malign the state government. They are trying to malign All India Trinamool Congress. The reason is they don't have any public support. They don't have any public support. BJP doesn't have an organization. They could not give candidate. They cannot contest in most of the seats due to lack of organization.
So if they don't have an organization, who's killing the Trinamool Congress people? Number one. And number two, Mr. Biswajit, they please explain to me, on the one hand, for the Lok Sabha elections, the left parties, the Trinamool Congress and the Congress are on one side. Today you say the BJP, the Congress and the CPM and ISF are on one side. What's going on? Are both sides making fools of the people of India?
I again repeat, this is a local election, and this is what is happening here in Bengal. In Bengal, BJP, ISF, CPIM and Congress, you send your team, you send your reporters, you send your cameraman, you send your people, and you will find that this is the exact understanding which is going on since the last few months. And they are targeting Trinamool Congress. Now, speaking about the role of the governor, what the governor is doing, the governor is crossing his limits. He has crossed all limits. He doesn't know that he has some constitutional obligations to fulfill. Constitution has given him certain powers, but he is exceeding his powers. He doesn't know that he has got no discretionary power. He is not an elected representative. He is trying to act as an elected representative.
Okay.
He must understand that he has to act.
So when the Calcutta High Court makes observations, the Calcutta High Court is wrong, the governor is wrong, the opposition parties are in cahoots with each other, but the Trinamool Congress is completely above board, says Biswajit Dev. Mr. Rohan Mitra, I want to ask you, are you now new friends with the... Are you now friends with the BJP and the CPM? And are you against the Trinamool Congress? And in local elections, you can kill each other, but in Lok Sabha elections, you will be the best friends ever?
Okay, Navika, let me categorically say this, that the Congress has been not in alliance with Trinamool Congress for the last 12 years. They were, the last time you were in alliance with the Trinamool Congress, it was in 2012. When Mamata Banerjee left the UPA government for FDI in retail, and after that, we've not had any kind of alliance with the Trinamool. So for you to say that, for the Lok Sabha, what might happen, let's not go there. Because what can happen,
why not?
Nobody knows.
Why not? No, Rahul Gandhi, Mallikarjun Kharge and Mamata Banerjee were having tea together to build opposition unity. Why should I not go there? It was there on camera. It was officially stated that everybody is together. Issues. Why should I not ask that question?
No, let me come back. Let me answer the questions. Mr. GVL Narasimha Rao was saying in 2018, panchayat polls was more... there was a lot of BJP people who were killed. Let me categorically say that in 2018, the BJP did not exist in Bengal. There was nobody in the BJP. The people who are today the faces of the BJP, Mr. Shubhendu Adhikari, Ms. Bharati Ghosh, they were instrumental in the violence which happened in 2018 under the TMC flag. So for them to say that in 2018 the BJP was killed, that's just ridiculous. Coming back to the Trinamool, in 2003, when the Trinamool was in the opposition and with the NDA, they usually said the same things which the opposition had to face today under Mamata Banerjee's governance. In 2003, Trinamool was complaining to the Home Minister L.K. Advani that we need central forces, we need help, there is going to be murders, the opposition is not being allowed to file nominations. Today, in 2023, the opposition hasn't been allowed to file nomination in over 12% seats. There have been more than 20 killings in Bengal, and all this under the Trinamool rule. So what are we talking about? The Trinamool needs to answer the questions which have been raised after they've come into power. What has happened before
Mr.
2011?
Mr. Bishwajit, you must respond to that question, and you must respond to the observations made by the Calcutta High Court. And the Calcutta High Court has said not just that central forces should be present, but they should be present for 10 days after elections also. Clearly, it's a no confidence in the Bengal government in terms of maintenance of law and order.
The problem is opposition is there in court. Opposition is there in court, and Trinamool Congress is there before the People's Court. And People's Court will support Trinamool Congress. There lies the difference. In democracy, it's the People's Court.
Are you saying the High Court is also part of the opposition? Are you saying the High Court is also part of the opposition?
If it is, I am not saying that. Please don't try to twist my words. What I am saying is, let there be 20 days, even 1 month, let the central forces remain. We don't care. Because we know that the people of Bengal
GVL Narasimha Rao
are with Abhishek Banerjee. People of Bengal are with
the panchayat polls. Once again, they have raised the ugly face of the TMC. It has demonstrated before the people of the country. The Congress party says, both the spokespersons are saying, rather the TMC spokesperson is saying that we will consider Congress as an enemy in local polls, but we will kill them, but we will hug them in Lok Sabha. But the Congress person says, we have nothing to do with the Congress party for several decades, we will not touch them again. So if Mamata Banerjee and Rahul Gandhi listen to their own spokespeople, they should decide by evening whether they are going to have tea together or throw muck at each other before the panchayat polls conclude in West Bengal.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, panchayat polls happening tomorrow in Bengal. We're keeping our fingers crossed, because when it comes to bullet versus ballot, we are a democracy that chose the ballot. There is no space for bullets in this democracy. We hope the ballot wins, and whichever way the ballot goes, the bullets should be managed by the people who are supposed to manage the bullets and the law and order in Bengal. We leave it at that for now, but please do join us for the continuous coverage of the panchayat elections in Bengal tomorrow. For now, thanking my panelists, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me on the Newshour tonight. Good night. Have a safe weekend.